It was a dark and silent night in the middle of the desert. The ground was dry, cracked, and lifeless. Above, stars filled the sky like tiny eyes watching from space. A small team of soldiers moved quietly near a hidden bunker. They wore black suits and spoke only in hand signals. The mission was top secret. Captain Rayan was leading the team. Strong, focused, and calm under pressure. He had seen many wars, but tonight felt different. There was something strange in the air. Like the ground itself was holding a secret. They were sent to check an abandoned lab, rumored to have links with illegal genetic research. Most people didn't even know this place existed. But something had sent out a signal in a strange language, one that military satellites could not decode. As they entered the bunker, everything was cold and silent. Dust floated in the air. Computers were broken, screens smashed, and walls cracked. It looked like someone left in a hurry. Or maybe something forced them out. Private Malik picked up a broken tablet from the floor. He wiped the dust off and showed it to Rayan. The screen had a strange symbol, two spirals twisting together. It looked like DNA. "Sir, you need to see this," Malik said. Rayan took the tablet. As soon as he touched it, the screen flashed. A voice, robotic but deep, began to speak in English. Sequence identified. Human DNA match confirmed. Awakening protocol active. The room's lights flickered. A hidden door behind the wall slowly opened. The soldiers raised their weapons, aiming into the dark passage. They moved in carefully. Inside they found a chamber glowing with blue light. In the center was a pod like a coffin, made of glass and steel. Inside the pod lay a body. A man, or what looked like a man, but not fully human. His skin was pale silver. His veins glowed blue. Then suddenly, boom, the ground shook. An explosion above. The entrance collapsed. Dust and fire roared through the tunnels. The team was trapped. Everyone panicked, trying to contact command, but all signals were lost. Captain Rayan stayed calm. He looked at the glowing body inside the pod. Something inside him, deep inside, felt connected to it. His heartbeat became louder, his vision blurred. His hands began to shake. Then his chest burned. A sharp pain. Like something inside his blood was moving. Rayan fell to his knees, gasping. The others rushed to him. His eyes turned bright blue. For a few seconds, then returned to normal. "Captain, are you all right?" Malik asked, shocked. I saw something," Rayan whispered. "A battlefield. But it wasn't Earth." Meanwhile, at a military science base, Dr. Alina Moritz was working late. She was one of the top genetic researchers in the country. She had studied DNA for years, but had never seen anything like what she saw today. Earlier that week, a soldier came in after surviving a nuclear blast. The strange thing? He had no burns, no radiation sickness. Instead, his blood was glowing faint blue under certain light. His DNA looked modified. She ran the results again. There it was, a long chain of unknown sequences in his genome. At first, she thought it was a virus. But after decoding part of it, she realized it was data, instructions, a code, not a human. Code, something else. Suddenly, her computer beeped. A new signal came from the desert, the same place Rayan's team went. She opened the file. It was a match, the same DNA code, but this one was older. Much older. How is that possible? She whispered. She printed the data and ran to her superior, General Locke. "General," she said, breathless, "we've been looking at this all wrong. This isn't a mutation, it's a program." He raised an eyebrow. "Program?" "Yes," she nodded. "This sequence, it activates under stress, like war or nuclear conditions. It's hidden in human DNA. I think it was a placed there. Long ago. By who?" the general asked. She looked at him, unsure. "Not by humans. Back in the bunker, the soldiers were trying to find a way out. Oxygen levels were dropping. One of them, Corporal Jensen, was digging near a wall when his hand hit metal. It was a small panel with a symbol, the same DNA spiral from before. Pressed it. Suddenly, the walls shifted. The floor opened slowly. Another chamber revealed itself. Inside, screens turned on. Holograms appeared showing battlefields, strange creatures, alien machines. All coded in DNA-like structures. The pot in the center began to open. The glowing man inside opened his eyes. Everyone froze. He sat up slowly, looked around. Then, in perfect English, he said, "The war is not over. You are not ready." Weapons were raised. Rayan stood forward. "Who are you?" he asked. The man looked at him, tilting his head. "I am a memory, stored in blood, a soldier from before your time. My mission is inside you now." Then he looked directly at Rayan. "You are activated. You must remember." Before anyone could respond, the man's body turned to dust and light, disappearing into the air. The DNA in Rayan's blood began to glow again. Back at the lab, Dr. Alina got a message. A notebook had been found near an old science site in the mountains, one that had been closed for decades. She opened the scanned pages. Her hands shook. The pages showed a handwritten translation of the DNA code. It said, "The final war is coded in the flesh. When the stars align, the soldiers will awaken. Earth will remember what it was built for." She looked up, whispering, "Oh my God. We're not just people, we're weapons." Days later, Rayan was brought back to the science base. He was under full observation. But nothing they tried could stop the changes happening in his body. His strength was increasing. His senses were sharper. He could even see things happening before they happened. But the scariest part, he started having visions. He saw a planet in flames. Strange machines crawling across deserts. Sky filled with black ships. Creatures with no face, feeding on light. And always a voice repeating, "The Extinction War will return. Prepare the army." Last seen, in a quiet room deep in the base. Dr. Alina was watching Rayan's brain scan. She noticed a pattern forming, not random. A symbol. It was the spiral again. Suddenly, alarms blared. Another signal had been sent, this time from deep underground. And from space. A reply had arrived. Single word, "Acknowledged." The snowstorm was growing stronger over Antarctica. Winds howled like lost spirits, blowing snow in every direction. Visibility was near zero, but the research team kept moving. They had come for ice core samples. What they found instead would change the future of humanity. Dr. Lena Frost, an expert in ancient Earth history, led the team. She was not new to strange discoveries, but today was different. Her ground scanner had picked up a perfect geometric shape deep under the ice. A circle 50 meters wide, buried more than 100 feet below. "Metal readings are off the charts," her assistant said. Confused. "Metal? In the middle of ancient ice?" They began drilling carefully. As they reached the structure, they found something incredible. A door, smooth and black, untouched by time. "This is not natural," Lena whispered. "And it's not from Earth." Back at the global military base, Captain Rayan sat in a dark room, staring at the wall. His blood was still glowing faint blue under scans. His strength had increased. But the dreams were getting worse. He saw cities on fire, towers falling, alien ships darkening the skies. And always that voice in his mind, "The sequence is awakening. The enemy knows." Rayan's DNA was still being studied. Dr. Alina and her team were decoding the strange message in his blood. Every day, new lines of code appeared. They were not random. They looked like training programs, battle strategies, survival protocols, even maps. But maps to where? Back in Antarctica, Lena and her team finally opened the door. It made no sound. No movement, just melted into light and vanished. Inside, they entered a large chamber, warm despite the freezing cold outside. The walls were smooth black metal, glowing faintly with blue lines. Symbols floated in the air, moving slowly like they were alive. In the center was a platform, and on it an orb. The orb was silver, the size of a football, hovering above the ground. As Lena approached it, the orb pulsed with light. Then, a hologram appeared, a tall humanoid figure, not fully human, not fully alien. Its face was covered, but its eyes shone like stars, and it spoke. "If you are hearing this, the war has returned." The team froze, cameras rolled. The voice continued. "Long ago, your kind was designed. Not born, not evolved, engineered. You were created as soldiers. Your DNA is a key. Inside it is the knowledge to fight what is coming." Lena stepped closer. "Who are you?" she asked aloud. The hologram turned to her. "We are your creators, but we also failed. Our war was lost. Now you must finish it. The sequence is in your blood." Suddenly, the orb shot a beam of light into the ceiling, cutting through the ice, straight into the sky. Satellites picked up the pulse instantly. The signal wasn't random. It was a code broadcasted to space. And someone answered back at the base. Alina watched in shock as her monitors lit up. "It's the same code," she said. "Exactly the same as Rayan's DNA pattern." General Locke looked concerned. "Is it a message?" "No," she said. "It's a command. A trigger." The signal had activated something deep underground in multiple parts of the world. Hidden structures, long asleep. Now waking up, Rayan collapsed in the hallway. Medics rushed in. His mind was filled with images, flashbacks, but not his own. He saw the past. A planet not Earth, where DNA soldiers trained under alien skies. A war. Creatures that fed on light and sound. Entire worlds consumed. And then on Earth. A new beginning. Human DNA seeded with the last battle sequence. A secret weapon. A hope. When he woke up, he gasped. We were never alone. We were never natural. Meanwhile, in an underground lab in Europe, another discovery shocked the world. A fossil was found inside a cave sealed for millions of years. But this fossil wasn't just bones, it had preserved DNA. When tested, the results stunned everyone. 99.9% match with modern humans, but this creature was 65 million years old, from the time of dinosaurs. How can a human exist before humans? Ever evolved? The scientist asked, voice shaking. The answer was found inside the DNA, a message. Backup soldier. Sequence incomplete. War lost. Resetting species. They weren't just looking at an ancient corpse. They were looking at humanity's first version. Lena's team was forced to evacuate Antarctica. The orb's signal had caused multiple earthquakes under the ice. As they left by helicopter, they looked down and saw the ice cracking in perfect circles, giant circular patterns forming on the surface, like landing zones, in orbit above Earth. An old satellite suddenly powered on after decades of silence. It broadcast one word on repeat. In every language, awaken. Alina and General Locke gathered world leaders in a secret video conference. Screens around the room showed the DNA pattern pulsing. This is not evolution, Alina said. It's design. A global genetic weapon, hidden in all of us. One leader asked, what's the purpose of this sequence? Rayan answered, stepping forward, to remember how to fight. They all looked at him. I've seen it, he said. We're not from here. Our blood holds a war. It's not just code, it's a memory. A training. And something out there just woke up. At the same time, strange events began happening around the globe. In Tokyo, a child spoke in a language no one had taught him, one that matched the alien hologram. In Cairo, an old statue cracked open during an earthquake, revealing a metal skeleton inside a DN, a soldier fossilized in stone. In the Amazon, tribes reported blue lights in the sky and visions of battles in their dreams. The sequence was spreading waking. Up inside people, not everyone had it. Only a few. Those who did felt the change, stronger bodies, sharper minds, dreams of other worlds. But with it came danger. One man, infected by a damaged sequence, went mad. He killed 5 people, shouting, "The enemy is in the ground. They live in the fire. They're coming." His body later turned into stone and cracked open, releasing ash. No one could explain it. Rayan was taken to a deep part of the base where few were allowed. There, behind sealed doors, sat an object found 50 years ago and kept secret. A black cube, covered in alien symbols. Until now, it never activated. When Rayan walked into the room, the cube glowed. Symbols moved, matching this patterns in his DNA. A voice came from the cube, sequence linked. Time remaining, 108 days. Begin preparation. General Locke stared at the countdown. "What happens when time ends?" he asked. Rayan looked at him. Double quotes, then ... They arrive. In space, beyond Earth's view, something was moving. A structure. The size of a small moonblack, silent, alive. As the Earth signal reached it, a part of it opened. Inside, creatures began to wake. No eyes. No mouths, just energy. And hunger. They had heard the signal. And they remembered Earth. In the final scene, Lena returned to her research tent. A new message had appeared in the orb, written in both English and the alien language. "This planet was your training ground. You were never meant to stay. You were left behind to grow. But now the war returns. You are the last chance." Her hand trembled as she turned to the camera. "We are not the first humans," she whispered. "We're the last soldiers." A silent night had covered the secret military base. The air was still, as if the world was holding its breath. Underground, in a steel-walled room, Captain Rayan stood inside a sealed chamber. Bright white lights glowed from the ceiling, watching his every move. He was not alone. Scientists and military officials watched from behind bulletproof glass. Dr. Alina was there too, typing fast on her tablet. A countdown had begun. This was the first test. The first trial to unlock what Rayan truly was. The alien DNA inside him. Was it just code? Or something more? Could he control it? Or would it control him? A robotic voice echoed in the room. Trial 1. Physical activation sequence. The chamber's walls shifted. Steel blocks rose from the floor, forming a mini obstacle course. Lasers blinked on. Moving pillars began to spin. It looked like a test designed for machines, not humans. Rayan closed his eyes. His heart was calm, too calm. Inside him, something was awake. "Begin," said the voice. Without thinking, Rayan ran forward, fast, too fast. Cameras zoomed in, recording every move. He dodged lasers, leapt over spinning blades, climbed walls like an animal. His breathing was steady, his eyes glowing faint blue. The observers watched in silence. Even the military generals had no words. Within seconds, Rayan had completed the course. Not a single error. No wounds. Not even sweat. Then he looked at the camera and said quietly, "That didn't feel like training. It felt like memory." Meanwhile, deep under the oceans, seismic scanners picked up strange movement. Not natural. Something large was shifting. Under the seafloor, near the Mariana Trench, a submarine was sent. What they saw was terrifying. A giant door, ancient, metallic, was opening at the bottom of the sea. From inside, blue light poured out, along with clouds of black dust that looked ... alive. The footage was sent to Alina immediately. She zoomed in. On the door was a symbol, the DN, a spiral. The same one inside Rayan's blood, but that wasn't. All inside the footage was hidden code. Not video code, not camera errors, real alien text, embedded like a signature. She decoded it. It said, Stage 1 complete. Trial 1 passed. Begin Phase 2. Rayan sat alone in a dark room, drinking water. He felt different, not just stronger, sharper. His hearing could pick up whispers through walls. His eyes could see movement in total darkness, but the dreams were becoming visions. Not of war now, but of places, towers of glass. Skies full of 3 moons, training rooms with no gravity. Teachers who had no faces, only light. He had never been to these places. Yet he remembered them. It was like someone else's life was being uploaded into his mind. That night, he saw something else. A message written in fire across a dark sky. Trial 1 passed. Awaken the others. He woke up gasping. In another part of the world, India, a 17-year-old girl named Asha collapsed in her school. She had been feeling strange for weeks, seeing glowing lights in her dreams, hearing voices and static sounds. When doctors checked her, they found something impossible. A second heartbeat faint, hidden in her chest. And her DNA? A 99.9% match with Captain Rayan's alien sequence. Within hours, she was taken by government agents. She wasn't alone. Reports came in from Brazil, South Africa, Russia, and Mongolia. All with the same pattern. Teenagers and young adults collapsing or having visions. All sharing one common thing, a dormant alien code inside their DNA, now beginning to activate. But not all awakenings were peaceful. In a small town in Ukraine, a boy named Victor activated violently. His body twisted, skin turning black and hard like stone. He screamed in an unknown language. Buildings around him began to shake. It took 6 soldiers to bring him down. When he finally stopped, his last words were, "They are coming through the gate. You broke the seal." Back at the base, General Locke paced angrily. "This is spreading," he shouted. "You said it was controllable." Dr. Alina kept calm. "It was never controllable. This isn't just science, it's history waking up." General Locke stared at the screens showing Rayan, Asha, and other awakening candidates. "If these people are soldiers... who trained them?" Alina looked at the data. "No one. The training is already inside. But if we don't guide them, they'll break." That night, Rayan met Asha for the first time. She sat quietly in the observation room, shaking. Her eyes were glowing faint blue, like his. Rayan sat beside her. "You saw them too?" he asked. She nodded. "The city, the stars, the war, did they speak to you?" "Yes," she whispered. "They said I was born for battle, but I don't want to fight." Rayan looked at her, understanding. "Neither did I, but we don't have a choice." Outside Earth's orbit, in the silent dark, something ancient moved again. The structure, the Black Ark, received the second signal. The signal from the trench. Inside the Ark, hundreds of void creatures opened their eyes for the first time in centuries. They had no souls, no minds, just a hunger to erase light and life. A leader among them, shaped like burning metal and smoke, stepped forward. Its voice was like thunder and wind. "Earth awakens. We shall burn it again." Alina gathered the awakened in a special underground facility, now called the Core. There were now 12 confirmed AWAKENINGs. Each had different skills. Asha had advanced energy control. She could power entire machines just by touching them. Victor, before his loss of control, showed defense mutation. His skin became armor. Another boy named Jun from Korea could see 3 seconds into the future during combat. But something was wrong. 3 more had died during activation. Their DNA was incomplete. Their minds couldn't take the memory upload. They went insane. Rayan sat with the group. "We're not just a team," he told them. "We're a leftover army. Someone made us, left us here, buried in blood and time." Asha asked, "Why us? Why now?" Before Rayan could answer, the lights flickered. Alarms went off. The ground shook. A voice from the intercom screamed, "Breach! Sublevel 5. We're under attack." Everyone jumped to their feet. Security cams showed a black mist pouring through a crack in the subfloor. Soldiers fired, but the bullets passed through. From the mist, figures formed shadows with no faces, glowing red from inside. The void had come. Trial 1 was complete. Trial 2 had begun. Rayan turned to the group. "This is it, the real test." The others looked scared, unsure. But Aisha stood. "Then let's pass it." They ran toward the breach, not as humans, not as victims, but as awakening weapons. Built for one thing. Survival. Last seen. Far away, on the dark side of the moon, a dormant satellite lit up for the first time in thousands of years. It sent a signal back to Earth. Not in English, not in alien tongue, but in DNA code. It said, "Awakened. 12. Survivors. Unknown. Enemy arrival. 99 days. Trial 1 passed. Begin Phase 2. The split." And then, Earth's moon blinked. As if something beneath its surface had just opened its eye. The underground base known as the core was no longer quiet. Walls had cracked, lights flickered, soldiers shouted. Sirens screamed like broken alarms in a nightmare. The void had entered. It wasn't just an attack. It was a test. Captain Rayan ran down the metal hallway, leading the group of awakened humans. Behind him, Asha followed, her hands glowing with blue energy. Jun from Korea, Kai from Brazil, Zara from Kenya each had unlocked a different skill. And now they were about to use them. "Form a circle," Rayan shouted. The black mist came fast, moving like smoke, but alive. It twisted and screamed without sound. From it, figures formed, tall, thin, glowing red from within, their faces hidden behind smoke. Rayan stepped forward. "Let's see if we were truly built for war." He raised his hands. Instantly, his skin shimmered. Energy burst from his chest like armor forming from light. His body reacted on its own, trained through memories that weren't his. He punched the first shadow. The creature exploded in dark ash. Asha followed. Her hands shot beams of light that sliced through 2 more. June moved faster than the eye could follow. In 3 seconds, he dodged, struck, and disarmed a creature behind Rayan. The soldiers watching from behind sealed doors stared in shock. "They're fighting like trained soldiers." One whispered, "They've never trained." Alina said, "They just remembered." But not all was victory. Victor, the strong one, lost control again. His skin hardened into black stone. His eyes turned red. He grabbed a soldier by the throat and threw him across the hallway. "Victor, stop!" Rayan shouted. Victor didn't hear, or maybe he wasn't Victor anymore. Rayan ran at him, dodged his strike, and touched his chest. A small pulse of light flowed from Rayan's hand. Victor froze. His body cracked. Then with a loud cry he fell. His body returned to normal. He was breathing, but unconscious. "What did you do?" Asha asked. "I don't know," Rayan said. "It just happened." Elena's voice came on the speaker. "That was a sync pulse. Some of you can restore the corrupted ones. You're not just weapons. Some of you are stabilizers." Later, in the recovery room, the group sat in silence. They had won the first true fight. But something had changed. Jun stood up. "We're not all the same," he said. "Some of us are stronger. Some lose control. What if one of us turns completely?" Zara nodded. "Victor nearly killed that guard. A boy named Marcus from Canada, who hadn't shown any powers. Yet said quietly, 'What if this isn't a gift? What if it's a curse waking up inside us?'" The room grew silent. Rayan looked at all of them. "That's not what this is. We didn't ask for it, but it's in us. We've been called. We need each other. We're stronger together." But not everyone agreed. Kai shook his head. "This isn't unity. This is a ticking bomb. And I won't be here when it explodes." He walked out. No one stopped him. The first crack had formed. Meanwhile, far beneath the surface of the moon, something stirred. Inside the ancient control room of the Lunar Sentinel, machines came to life after sleeping. For thousands of years, a tall figure made of silver metal stood before a screen. Its eyes were cold white. It looked like a statue, but it moved with purpose. A message glowed on the wall in ancient code. Earth's sequence. Phase 2. Status. SPLIT detected. Result. Divide and destroy. The figure spoke in a voice like grinding stone. They are fracturing. Begin psychological pressure. Back on Earth, General Locke met privately with Dr. Alina. I don't like this, he said. We've awakened something we don't understand. You approved the trials, she reminded him. Yes, controlled tests, not global chaos. Now we have 13 awakened, 1 missing, and a global signal spreading. Alina showed him a map. It's not random. The awakenings are centered near ancient alien signal sites, Stonehenge, Nazca lines, Great Pyramids, meaning these places weren't built by early man. They were early activation nodes. The creators left them behind to control future awakenings. Locke stared at the map, and someone else knows. Yes, Elena said. The enemy has awakened too. A transmission came in that night from a deep desert facility in Africa. Their team had found a giant underground machine, half buried. Still active, the machine had one task: it monitored DN, changes on Earth. And now it had spoken. Deep voice came from its core. Split confirmed, unity broken. Final trial begins. In 89 days, Rayan woke up the next morning to find Kai gone. He had taken supplies, stolen a guard's uniform, and disappeared. A note was left behind. We are not allies. We are experiments. I won't be a lab rat. Kai, Usher read the note and looked at Rayan. He's scared. So am I, Rayan said. But fear can make people dangerous. Alina called an emergency meeting. We must split the group into 2 teams, she said. One will train in combat. The other will study memory recall, how to access the knowledge buried inside the DNA. Zara raised a hand. Why split us more? We're already falling apart. Alina looked at the data. Because if we stay the same, the enemy will break us. You need to grow fast. So the first official division began. Asha, June, and Rayan led Team Alpha Combat and Field Response. Zara, Marcus, and 3 others became Team Delta Memory and Code DECRYPT. The split caused more tension. One girl whispered, "What if one team is the real weapon? What if the other is backup?" It wasn't said again, but everyone thought about it. In a hidden mountain base, Kai found shelter with a small rogue group. But he was not alone. There, he met a man named Darren, a scientist who once worked for the original sequence program 30 years ago. Darren looked at Kai with interest. You left the Corps? They're building weapons, Kai said. Darren smiled coldly. No, they are the weapons. Kai was confused. Aren't we supposed to save the world? No, Darren replied. You're supposed to end it. The creators didn't plant defense in your DNA. They planted detonation. At the core, Alina studied Rayan's blood under magnification. She saw something strange. A second layer of code, hidden deeper than anything seen before. Not training, not battle sequences. It was a timer, not a digital clock. A biological countdown. Inside the DNA, and it was ticking. She zoomed in. Self-activation, 80 days remaining. She gasped. Rayan isn't just a soldier. She turned to the data. He's the key. That night, Rayan stood alone, looking at the sky. The moon seemed closer than ever. He heard a voice, soft, distant. You will choose. You will divide. You will decide who lives. He turned. No one was there, but the message stayed in his mind. Last seen, inside the moon's chamber. The silver sentinel placed a finger on a glowing console. It whispered a command. Send dream layer. Activate division memories. Back on Earth, Rayan and all awakened suddenly collapsed at the same moment. They saw visions of betrayal, of killing each other, of burning Earth. All false, or were they future echoes? They woke up sweating. Asha stared at Rayan. Did you kill me in your dream? Rayan didn't answer. The split had begun, not by choice, but by design. The night was silent, but the minds of the awakened were anything but quiet. One by one, Rayan, Asha, June, Zara, Marcus, and the others collapsed in their rooms at the core. Their bodies lay still, but their minds raced through something far. Beyond time and space. They were trapped in the memory war, a battle inside their DNA. Rayan opened his eyes to a strange world. The sky was dark with red clouds. The ground was cracked and burning. Around him were soldiers, not human, but not fully alien. They fought fiercely with swords and strange guns that hummed with power. Rayan felt the memories flood him, visions not his own, but somehow his. He saw a past life, or maybe a future. He was a warrior leading an army against a terrible enemy. The enemy was the void, creatures born from darkness itself. The same shadows that had attacked the core. A voice whispered in his mind, "You must. Remember, you are the key to ending the war." At the same time, Asha was in a different place. She stood in a glowing chamber filled with holograms. Alien symbols floated in the air, swirling like water. A figure made of light approached her. "Awaken, child of the sequence," it said. "Your energy controls worlds. You hold the power to save or destroy." Asha's hands glowed brighter. She tried to reach out, but the figure vanished. She gasped awake, sweating. Chun's dream was darker. He was back on Earth, but it was burning. Cities were falling. People screamed, but no one noticed him. He was invisible. A shadow approached and whispered, "You cannot save what you cannot see." Chun's eyes snapped open. Back in reality, Alina watched the awakened carefully. The sudden collapse was expected, part of the DNA activation process. Memory war. She muttered. She explained to General Locke, "This is the final stage before full awakening. Their minds are fighting to unlock the knowledge buried inside their DNA. It's painful and dangerous. Some won't survive." Locke frowned. "How many?" Alina shook her head. "We don't know yet. But the countdown is getting closer." Inside the minds of the awakened, the memory war continued. Rayan led his army through battles that seemed to last days, but in reality were only seconds. He fought alongside warriors from many worlds. Some were human, others were not. They wore strange armor and wielded weapons that could bend light. He remembered the names of his commanders: Zal, Kira, Torin. They fought the Void on many fronts. The Void wanted to erase all life and rewrite the universe in darkness. Rayan had a secret weapon. His DNA contained the code of the ancients, a powerful sequence that could create or destroy. Meanwhile, Asha's visions revealed something else. She saw a machine ancient and gigantic hidden beneath the Earth's surface. It was a gateway, built to protect or destroy. The figure of light told her, "You must find the gateway. It holds the future of your kind." Asha's mind raced. Could this be real? Or just another dream? Back at the core, tensions rose. Marcus was angry. "We're prisoners in our own minds, fighting ghosts. When will this end?" Zara tried to calm him. "We have to trust the process. It's our only way to survive." Jun was silent, but his eyes were dark with fear. What if the memories are lies? What if they're tricking us? Alina watched them all with worry. The memory war can break them, but it can also make them stronger. Suddenly, alarms blared. The base was under attack. The void creatures had returned. This time, not just shadows, they were evolving. The awakened jumped to their feet, still weak from the mental battle. Rayan led the charge, his body glowing with new strength. "We fight again," he said. "This time with everything we've learned." The battle was fierce. The void creatures had grown larger and more dangerous. Some could control minds. Others could pass through walls. But the Awakened fought with teamwork. Asha used her energy to create barriers that stopped attacks. Jun predicted enemy moves, dodging with impossible speed. Zara used her strength to protect the weak. Even Marcus found new courage. Rayan's leadership was the key. During the fight, Rayan saw a familiar figure among the void, a creature that looked like Victor. Victor's eyes glowed red. His body was twisted and dark. Rayan shouted, "Victor, fight it! Remember who you are." For a moment, Victor hesitated. Then he attacked. The fight was brutal. Rayan barely escaped with his life. After the battle, the group gathered. Victor was missing. "Is he lost?" Asha asked, tears in her eyes. Rayan looked at the empty doorway. "Not yet, but we must find him before it's too late." Alina studied new data. The DNA countdown was now at 75 days. "The split is growing," she said. "If we don't unite them, they will destroy each other." She turned to General Locke. "We need to find the gateway Isha saw." Locke nodded. "Do it quietly. The world can't know about this yet." Rayan's dreams grew stronger. He saw a planet burning. He heard a voice ancient and powerful. "You hold the power, but it will cost you everything." Rayan woke, gasping. He knew the war was not just outside. It was inside him, and time was running out. The desert winds howled as a black aircraft touched down on ancient sand. Dust clouds covered the moonlight. From the cockpit, Rayan stepped out slowly, his eyes scanning the endless rocky horizon. Behind him, Asha, June, and Zara followed. Their mission was clear now: find the gateway, activate it, survive what comes next. They weren't just chasing dreams anymore. Asha had seen it in her vision during the Memory War, an alien structure buried beneath the earth, older than any human civilization. And now their DNA was guiding them to it. "This is the place," Asha said softly, pointing toward a half-buried stone. "It's under us, deep." Back at the core, Dr. Alina watched the live tracking on her screen. Satellites had gone dark the moment Rayan's team entered the desert zone. "I've never seen this signal before," she whispered. "What is it?" asked General Locke, standing behind her. She stared at the flickering data. "It's a pulse, coming from beneath the surface. Something is waking up." "Then they're right on time," Locke said, more to himself than her. Hundreds of meters underground, the four Awakened dug through sand and broken rocks. Hours passed. Sweat covered their faces, but they didn't stop. Then Jun struck something hard. A hollow clang echoed. They paused. Rayan wiped dirt away, revealing a metallic surface covered in alien symbols. Asha stepped forward. "This is it." The gateway. Without warning, the ground shook. Light spread across the metal, forming a glowing circle around them. They had activated something, not just a door, but a decision. The circle opened like a spiral. A platform began lowering them into darkness. The descent took nearly 5 minutes. Wind rushed upward. Symbols glowed brighter. Finally, they reached the bottom. A wide hall stretched before them, walls covered in moving light patterns, as if the walls were breathing. "It feels alive," Zara whispered. As they walked, memories began surfacing stronger than before. Flashes of another life, training, war, betrayal, a friend turning enemy, a planet falling. Rayan touched his temple. "I'm remembering faster now, and I don't like what I see." Asha nodded. "Me too. We fought each other. We destroyed everything." At the center of the hall was a floating orb of light, shifting, pulsing, humming with power. It was connected to the floor by strands of energy. Rayan stepped closer. The orb changed color, matching his DNA frequency. Words appeared in the air. Only the carrier may command the gateway. Asha turned to Rayan. You're the carrier. He didn't argue. Somewhere inside, he had known for days. He placed his hand on the light. Everything changed. Back at the core, alarms blared. Sir, there's been an energy spike, shouted a tech. Alina leaned forward. Where? The map zoomed in right over the desert. Gateway activated, she whispered. It's real. Locke didn't look surprised. And now the world will notice. In space, high above Earth, the ancient satellite known as Sentinel-9 came online. It hadn't sent a signal in 50,000 years. A soft blue light blinked on its surface. Inside the satellite, an AI voice spoke. Carrier confirmed. Gateway unlocked. Initiating return protocol. Something began moving far beyond Earth. The enemy had heard the call. Back inside the gateway, Rayan collapsed to his knees. Visions poured into his head. Millions of years of war, death, silence, and rebirth. Entire civilizations wiped out. Entire galaxies torn apart. But in every vision, one thing was clear. The awakened were not the first. Asha grabbed his shoulder. Rayan, are you okay? He gasped. We're just the latest. There were others like us. Long ago, they all failed. Zara clenched her fists. Then we can't. We have to break the cycle. Chun's eyes widened. Look. The orb had changed. It now projected a star map lines connecting Earth to distant galaxies. One location blinked red. That's where the enemy is coming from, June said. And it's getting closer. Asha added. They had 72 days left, back at the core. Alina made a discovery. She matched Rayan's blood signature with an ancient database hidden deep in the base's system. The name appeared, Unit 0, Project Solace. She froze. Rayan. He wasn't just chosen, he was built. Locke entered the room. She turned to him. Rayan's not fully human. Locke nodded. I suspected it. We cloned him, Alina. From DNA found at the first crash site in 1981. Her eyes widened. He's one of them. Locke's voice was cold. He's what stands between Earth and extinction. In the desert chamber, Rayan slowly stood. He knew now. The gateway wasn't a weapon. It was a beacon. He could summon an army, but he also saw the warning in memories. Use it too soon, and the enemy will arrive before you're ready. Wait too long, and the Earth will fall. June asked, so what do we do? Rayan answered quietly, we prepare. Asha nodded. Then we train, and we find the others. Far away, Kai stood before a screen inside Darren's rogue lab. He watched the signal from the gateway. Darren smiled. They've activated it. Just like I said they would. Kai asked, should we stop them? No, Darren said. We let them open the door. Then we take the power. Kai's face was hard. And if they resist? Darren turned. Then they'll die like the last batch did. This world isn't big enough for heroes. Kai stared at the red blinking signal. Somewhere deep inside, he still felt connected to Rayan, but his fear was louder. He walked out without saying a word. That night, the awakened slept in a tent above the gateway. None of them rested well. Rayan's dream was the darkest yet. He stood on a black field under a blood-red sky. A voice echoed. You think you can change fate? You are just another tool. You are not the savior. You are the weapon. He turned and saw himself, his face, his voice, but older and cold. The double smiled. Soon I'll take control, you'll see. Rayan woke up in panic, heart pounding. He didn't tell the others. Some truths were too heavy. As dawn broke over the desert, Alina's voice came over the link. Rayan, the world is changing. All major powers have detected the gateway energy. Questions are rising. Governments want answers, Rayan replied. Then tell them the truth. Alina sighed. They won't listen. Then let them watch, he said. We'll show them what the future looks like. June smirked. We should probably survive first. They all laughed, but deep down, they knew. The real war hadn't even started. 72 days left. That's what the timer read in the bottom corner of the screen inside the core. Every beep was a countdown to an unknown fate. Death, survival, or something worse. Inside the gateway camp, Rayan sat alone, staring at the rising sun. He hadn't told the others about the dream, the one where his older self warned him, "You're not the savior, you're the weapon." He felt it, deep inside his blood. Something was changing. Something he didn't fully understand. Inside the control room, Asha stood before the glowing orb. It projected a new signal, a beacon pulse sent across space. "Where is it going?" Zara asked, her hand resting on her hip. Asha replied, "It's calling the others." Jun stepped closer. "Others like us?" "No," Asha said slowly. "Others that built this. The architects." The air in the room grew cold. Back at the core, Dr. Alina's lab was buzzing with alerts. She hadn't slept. Her eyes were locked onto a series of energy waves moving through space. "They've answered," she whispered. General Locke entered. "What answered?" Alina turned to him. "The return protocol. When the gateway activates, it sends a call to the origin system. If the architects are still alive, they'll come back." Locke frowned. "To help?" She didn't answer, because she didn't know. Thousands of miles away, inside a hidden base in the Arctic, Kai stood before a frozen wall. The ice cracked open with a hiss. Inside was a glowing crystal pod. A humanoid body floated inside alien. In shape, with long limbs and symbols carved across its skin. Darren stepped beside him. "This is one of them, a prototype." Kai's voice was quiet. "It looks ancient," Darren smiled. "Because it is. When the protocol completes, these won't stay asleep. And when they wake, they'll choose a leader." Kai stared at the alien's face. "What if it's not me?" Darren's voice darkened. "Then you kill whoever it is." Meanwhile, Rain and his team traveled across a vast desert ridge. The gateway had shown them new coordinates, buried stations across Earth, built by the architects long ago. These stations held fragments of a device that could either stop the enemy or bring them closer. "We have to collect all the fragments," Rayan said, "before the enemy gets to them first." Their first stop was deep in the Amazon rainforest. They hiked for days through wet jungle, thick vines, and endless bugs. But Rayan never stopped. He felt the pull, the DNA signal inside him acting like a compass. June scanned the map. "We're close." Asha's eyes lit up. "There, look." A strange stone pillar covered in moss. It pulsed faintly when they approached. Rayan reached out and placed his palm on it. Flash. The world around them shimmered. A door opened beneath the ground. They entered. Inside was a circular chamber. Floating in the center was a metallic shard, glowing with blue energy. Zara stepped forward. This must be one of the fragments. The moment she touched it, visions filled their minds. Explosions. Stars collapsing. Ships flying across galaxies. The void spreading like a virus. A message echoed in their heads. The final gate must not be opened unless unity is achieved. One voice, one purpose, one chance. Rayan staggered back. "They're talking about us. They're warning." "US," June added. Asha looked at the shard. "We have to find the rest, and fast." But they weren't alone. Above them, in the trees, red eyes blinked. Drones. Sent by Kai. The enemy was watching. Back at the core, Alina finally cracked a locked file inside the architect database. What she found shocked her. A hidden video log played. A soldier in black armor spoke to the camera. "If you're seeing this, we failed. The protocol failed. The void adapted faster than expected. The humans of this Earth are not ready. You must choose the strongest. One must carry the full sequence. The rest will not survive it." The screen went black. Locke looked at her. "So we have to pick a survivor?" Alina shook her head. No, the DNA is picking for us. And it's already chosen Rayan. As Rayan's group prepared to leave the Amazon site, Asha suddenly collapsed. She shook, eyes glowing. Visions, she gasped. The void, it's coming, faster. Rayan grabbed her hand. What did you see? They're using the return protocol too, she said, to open a dark gate on the other side of the planet. Jun clenched his fists. So they're copying us. No, Asha said. They've done this before, on other worlds. We're just next. The next fragment was located under the ruins of an ancient temple in Asia. As they traveled, Rayan's body started to change. His skin pulsed with light. Symbols appeared across his back etched into his DNA. Zara saw it one night while he bathed in a stream. Rayan, your body, you're becoming something else. He nodded. I know, and I don't think I can stop it. She asked, Are you scared? He paused. Yes. When they reached the temple, they were ambushed. Kai stood at the entrance. With a small army mercenaries, drones, and 2 enhanced soldiers. Step away from the door, he shouted. We'll take it from here. Rayan stepped forward. This doesn't belong to you. Kai smirked. No, it belongs to the architects. And soon, so will I. Without warning, fighting erupted. Jun and Zara handled the mercenaries. Asha shielded Rayan. Rayan and Kai clashed hand to hand, blow after blow. I didn't want this, Kai growled. But you made me the enemy. Rayan blocked a strike. You chose that path. Kai's eyes flashed red. No, it chose me. Drone exploded nearby. The fighting paused as the ground shook. The temple collapsed, revealing the second fragment. Rayan ran for it. But Kai was faster. He grabbed the fragment, but the energy rejected him. His body flung back, unconscious. Rayan picked it up. The shard glowed, merging with the first one. Zara pulled Kai's body aside. He's not dead, Rayan nodded. Good. He still has a chance to change. They left before the rest of the temple came down. Now, they had 2 shards. 3 more remained. But time was running out. Only 64 days were left, and the next gate would open in less than half that. That night, back at the gateway camp, the orb displayed a warning. Void ships entering Earth's orbit within 22 days. Final gate in preparation. Host calibration incomplete. Asha whispered, Final gate? Alina appeared via hologram. The gate won't protect Earth. It will transform it into a battleground. If Rayan's DNA isn't fully calibrated, Earth will collapse in the process. Rayan asked, What does calibration mean? Alina hesitated. It means you must fully become what you were meant to be, even if it kills you. Day 64 Earth sky no longer looked normal. Faint cracks of red and black shimmered in the upper atmosphere, visible only to those who truly watched. Something was pushing through. Something ancient. Something angry. In the desert, at the gateway base, the team stood before the glowing orb. The last fragment pulse had activated far away, deep beneath the frozen ocean of Antarctica. Rayan, now visibly changed, his eyes golden, veins faintly glowing, stared at the projection. This is the final piece, he said. Asha, weak from the DNA overload, leaned against Zara. If we don't get it, the void will complete the gate for us. Jun nodded grimly. Then let's finish what we started. In the Arctic, Doreen watched from his control room. Around him, the dark gate was half-constructed using stolen tech and ancient void crystals. It pulsed every few seconds, absorbing Earth's magnetic energy. Standing behind him, Kai had changed. No longer a rebel, he was a host of the dark strain. His veins were blackened, his skin cracked like stone. She's almost ready, Doreen said. Kai didn't speak. His mind was no longer entirely his own. Deep within, something else was waking up, something worse than death. Back at the core, Doctor. Alina and General Locke watch the signals from both gates, Rayan's and the Dark One. They're in a race. Locke said, and the void is gaining. Alina turned to him. Rayan needs all fragments to become fully calibrated. Only then can he access the architect weapon. Locke frowned. And what if he fails? Alina's eyes didn't blink. Then Earth becomes another dead planet in the void's path. The Antarctica mission began. A ship launched from the gateway. Sight, flying across oceans and storms. The four awakened were on board. The mood was heavy. Everyone knew this was it. Rayan stared out the window. Asha. If I don't come back, promise me, she interrupted. You'll come back, and if you don't, I'll come get you. They smiled. Even at the end, hope refused to die. The team reached the ice crater shown by the fragment pulse. What they saw froze their breath. A massive circular temple, made of metal and frozen in time, was buried in the glacier. Light flickered from the center, calling to Rayan. They entered. Inside was pure silence. The air felt like a memory, like time itself had stopped here. They walked for nearly 20 minutes before finding the final fragment. But something was wrong. It wasn't alone. Standing before the fragment was Kai. But not the Kai they knew. His body was almost completely taken by the void form, his eyes black, arms covered in corrupted armor, a floating crystal inside his chest. You're too late, he hissed. Rayan stepped forward. You're fighting it. I can see it. Kai laughed, a cruel, broken sound. I stopped fighting the day you left me behind. Then take my hand, Rayan said softly. Let me bring you back. Kai roared, lunging at him. They clashed. Light vs. Dark Past versus Present. Zara Jun and Asha fought off Darren's corrupted soldiers in the chamber as the ice roof cracked overhead. During the fight, Asha collapsed again, this time harder. Her DNA couldn't handle the frequency of the final fragment. Rayan shouted, Asha! But he had no time. Kai had him pinned. You were always stronger, Kai whispered. But I was always hungrier. Rayan looked into his eyes. Then be hungry for something good. In a moment of pain and truth, Rayan let go. Not of the fight, but of the fear. His DNA surged, fully awakening. A blast of light shot from his chest, sending Kai flying backward. Kai hit the wall, his armor breaking. For a second, just one, his human eyes returned. Rayen. I remember. The stars. We were. Kids. And then he passed out. Alive. But broken. Rayan grabbed the final fragment. The moment he touched it, all 5 pieces merged into his chest, forming a glowing architect core. Light wrapped around his body like armor. Symbols danced across his arms, his back, his face. Zara gasped. He's not human anymore. June added, he's something more. Rayan opened his eyes and said just 2 words. Let's finish this. Back at the gateway, the orb pulsed like never before. It opened fully for the first time in a million years. A stairway of light formed. Alina saw it through the live feed. He did it, she whispered. He's fully calibrated. He's now the carrier of the core. Locke leaned in. Can he stop what's coming? We're about to find out. Rayan, Asha, Jun, and Zara returned to the gateway. The fragments in Rayan's body began to sync with the structure. Suddenly, the orb shot into the sky. A rift opened in the air above Earth. Not a gate, but a window. Through it, they saw the void. Fleet. Thousands of biomechanical ships. A living wave of death. The final battle had begun. Rayan stood before the orb. A message appeared. You may now activate the architect weapon. Warning. Activation may cost you your life. Rayan didn't hesitate. Do it. The ground shook. A tower rose from under the gateway. From space, the light was visible. Earth was changing. Not being destroyed, being armed. A planetary shield formed. Architect codes circled the globe. Void ships collided and burned against it, but the largest Ship pierced through, crashing into Earth near the Arctic gate. The enemy had landed. The team flew toward the impact zone. Kai was gone. Darren was preparing to open the dark gate fully. Rayan looked down at Earth. This was the planet that had given him a name, a story, and people worth protecting. "This is where we make our stand," he said. They landed in the middle of Chaos Void. Creatures emerging from the broken ship. Darren stood on a raised platform, holding the Void Heart. "You're too late, Rayan," he shouted. "This planet belongs to them now." Rayan answered, "Then I'll take it back." A final battle erupted. Zara fought with fire-based architect tech. Jun used gravity control gloves. Asha shielded the group with her mind, even as her body weakened. Rayan, now glowing like a sun, flew through the air, taking out enemies like light through shadows. He reached Darren. The man sneered. "You're not a god, Rayan. You're just a failed experiment." Rayan looked him in the eyes. "I'm not a god. I'm a human. That's why I'll win." He absorbed the Void Heart into his core. Darren screamed. His body couldn't survive the rejection. Rayan turned to the sky. The Void Gate tried to close, but Rayan poured all his energy into it. One last surge, he sacrificed his body, and the gate shattered into dust. Silence followed. The wind blew gently. Asha crawled to where Rayan had stood. All that remained was a faint blue light. Jun whispered, "He's gone." Zara shook her head. "No, he became the core. He's watching." From everywhere, Asha held the glowing crystal. He kept his promise. Weeks later. The world changed. The truth was released to humanity. The gateway became a center of peace and science. Void energy was studied, not to destroy, but to understand. And from time to time, in dreams, Asha heard his voice. "Protect each other. The next threat won't come from the stars. It'll come from inside." The world remembered. Rayen. Not as a weapon, but as a guardian. The first to awaken. The first to choose Earth over everything else. The end.